Hi everyone, welcome to our second In the Loop. We launched this back in January and we've had lots of content and questions on our discussion board. So today we're going to respond to what was the hottest topic over the last few weeks, network connectivity. I have a very special guest today, Karen Geraghty, our Chief Information Officer, and she's going to talk to us around a range of these issues. So Karen, can you talk to us, given the size and shape of Duna, what is the problem that we're talking about here?
So Duna is actually quite unusual as a department because we have what we would call big footprint. We have lots of regional and remote sites that we need to connect back to the city and back to the system so we can share and collaborate on documents and files. So for instance, we have 6 sites that can only be accessed by satellite communication. We have over 25 that are on the mobile network, and a lot of that is still 3G instead of 4G. And so we have lots of different, very small areas and quite remote locations.
Can you explain what connectivity looks like for some of the people in our offices, say in a town like Murray-Bridge or Barrie?
So in the regional centres we have very good connectivity. The challenge there can be the number of people, the type of work they do, and the connectivity combined. In the CBD, everything is on fibre, and that is probably the best connectivity you can get. And then we have some offices that are very remote, like in Aminka, and some that are only connected through satellite, which is really the connection of last resort, because there's really nothing else available.
Okay, and so you mentioned video, so YouTube is something that we do use as part of our business and it's around, but what's the profile of YouTube viewing in our department?
We're actually a high user of YouTube, interestingly. So we, in our internet downloads, which is something that we can monitor through our technology, half of our downloads are YouTube downloads. So of 1 terabyte, which is quite a staggering amount of data, half of that, in increasingly more, a greater percentage, is YouTube.
So do you want to reflect, Karen, on some of the external and the internal factors that are at play for us?
So there's some things that we can't control and some we can. So some of the external factors, Sandy, are that Australia itself is 44th in the world in terms of internet connectivity. That's not exactly a really good achievement.
Fabulous, no.
And of course, because we're a state that has, and we're a department with great physical diversity and lots of different sites, there's a difference in what's achievable at what site. There are whole of government contracts that we have to purchase from. There are physical limitations to what connectivity is available at what point, and I guess a great sort of example would be if you go driving, you'll find that your phone will in many spots not have coverage. And so then also it is then a matter of trying to manage the number of sites we have within the government constraints and also the budget that we have to manage all the sites that we have to manage. And so that's really the sort of the balancing act.
And look, I heard certainly through this blog and other things that some of our staff were feeling like it was a personal thing or that they didn't matter. And I was really sad to hear that people thought that because I know that there's all of these things that are playing around and we're limited by resources and so many things. I wondered what your reflection was on that.
I must say I'm very sad to hear that as well, because there's certainly no intent behind any of this. It is really a limitation on budget and availability of the network connectivity. And we are, in essence, punching above our weight as a department. We're the first ones to connect through NBN at Wollonga. We are looking at mobile technology through cars for field staff. We are redefining what a black spot is for the National Black Spot Program, and we've asked to have factors included that include tourism, not just residents. And the reason I'm mentioning that is, for instance, Kangaroo Island is a challenge. The copper network there is quite old. And if you look at Kangaroo Island just based on population, it is not something a telco invests in with 400 dwellings. So what we are bringing to the table on behalf of the department is to say, yes, but 150,000 visitors just for Duna alone. And can you redefine how you define a black spot, because connectivity is really important for that as well.
I mean, I really do want to reassure staff that we do think connectivity is a priority, and we do have a prioritisation process that we're looking to do across all of the parts of our department.
So that's one of the things, Sandy, that we're working on, in particular with John's area, being one of the ones with most of the regional and remote sites, and just to establish from a business point of view what are the priorities, so that when we can invest, that we know where we invest first. Having said that, there are still some areas of the state where what we currently have is the only available thing.
So Karen, thank you for this overview and for giving your time to this, and I know that because there is so much interest in the department, we're also having the Managers Forum in May is also looking at the issue, so hopefully we'll keep building people's awareness and opportunities. So I'd like to say firstly thank you to Tammy Edwards, who raised this issue for our discussion today. And it's important to remind everyone that we'll be answering questions and issues on the discussion board of In the Loop in between these video sessions. So keep an eye out on the discussion board, and you too can contribute to the ongoing conversation. So thanks to everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at the next In the Loop.